deportation efforts and all of that, they're facing the highest eviction rates that they've ever faced. The only way that they can have a fair chance is to hope that we get deported, because we came to this country, we did what needed to be done, and we made the best out of the efforts and the benefits that they ignored. They were born here and they weren't ahead of us. We came here and we passed them, and instead of them taking accountability, black and white, they always want to log in and shit on us. Baby, it's so damn hot outside. They're facing evictions left and right. This country is throwing its poor blacks and whites out on their ass.
Well, you know what? Since you started it, sis, I'm just going to go ahead and finish it. Your entire country is a failure. Your entire country is a failed state, which is the reason why you had to leave in the first place, right? So if we want to talk about success here, there, or anywhere, you already come from a lineage of failure, right? A lineage of people who cannot figure out basic infrastructure and who literally blames everybody else for their failures except themselves. Constantly blaming colonialism and white people for all of your problems, blaming stealing resources, when even if they were to pull out from your nations, I don't even know how any of that works. But even if they were to just completely stop doing it, would you even know how to industrialize your resources? Would you even know how to make manufacturing plants and how to distribute products around the world? Like, would that even help the average everyday citizen from your country? Because I'm not really seeing too much progression. I'm really just seeing a lot of pointing the fingers and then coming over here and then trying to compare your top 10% to our bottom 10%. Like, that's literally what y'all do. Like, comparing your top 10% to somebody else's bottom 10% is not the flex that you think it is, sis. Like, and that's what y'all tend to do, because you don't want to, you fail to mention the fact that there's a whole vetting process. At least as far as I'm concerned, there's a process that they don't just let anybody over here, especially not from African nations. I know they don't just let anybody over here. So like the Yahoo boys and the thugs and the scammers and all of that, they keeping them over there where y'all at. So they're not letting any and everybody over here, because you're not comparing apples to apples. You're not coming over here comparing doctors to doctors, lawyers to lawyers, nurses to nurses, because we got all of that too. We got business owners too. But you want to come over here, throw shade, compare yourself to the lowest level of society, trailer park white people, ghetto projects black people, knowing damn well that is not the reality for the vast majority of Americans. I know a guy that lives about 20 minutes from me, been knowing him for a long time. He's low-key, keeps to himself. He makes multiple six figures every single month, multi-millionaire, black American dude. But you don't want to compare yourself to people like that. You want to compare yourself to the people who need to use government assistance, which is a very small portion of society. Like, you really think that you're better than somebody because you came over here and did basic ass shit that everybody has to do in order to survive anyway. You know, you came over here with a grant or a loan or something. You went to school, you got a sure piece of paper, you got a job, you got a house, you got a car. Now all of a sudden you think that you're better than the average everyday American citizen who's pretty much done the same thing. Or you started a business when there's a lot of black Americans and other white Americans who have businesses too. A lot of them. I know a lot of them personally. I don't know anybody right now that is in the eviction process, but y'all want to throw shade at the entire race of black people in America and try to lift yourself up by stepping on us. And you don't even really have nothing to stand on with that. You couldn't succeed until you left. You had to come over here in order to make a life for yourself. You had to leave your failed state to come here, right? Because the hard work was already done. So all you had to do was show up. All that hard infrastructural work, no matter how horrible things had to transpire in order to get to this point, the hard work was already done. So if you could throw shade once you do the hard work to fix your shit over there, because the real hard work is in the infrastructure. That's where the real hard work is. It's easy to come over and succeed when all of the hard shit already been done and all you got to do is build on top of it. It's hard to build a foundation. It's easy to go to Target and buy decorations and decorate the house. I'm just saying.
So the foundational black Americans and all the pretendians who can't stand Africans and would rather focus on being mad at Africans than being mad at the colonizer, are calling for a boycott starting August 1st to not spend with African businesses because they think that Africans are somehow arrogant and think that they're better than us. As the Pan-African princess and as someone who is pro-Black, we, the Pan-Africans, we, the pro-Blacks, are not down with that, especially on Black August. Matter of fact, don't you ever disrespect Black August by going against people that look like you and letting the colonizer escape free. If you don't know that there is strength in numbers and that you dividing from our African cousins as African Americans and Africans dividing from their African American cousins as African is adding to white supremacy, then you have not organized or you were just born yesterday. Some of you even try to use Malcolm X to back up what you're doing, saying things like, oh, Malcolm X is FBA. If Malcolm X was here today, he would not be down with your boycott. He would not be down with your cause. And guess what? The proof is in the pudding. And I quote, Malcolm X in the 1960s gave a speech. And he said, he gave the speech, to the Africans, all right, and to the African Americans. And he was calling for unity. And this is what he said. Since the 22 million of us were originally Africans, who are now in America, not by choice, but only by a cruel accident in our history. Our history. We strongly believe that African problems are our problems, and our problems are African problems. And then he gave examples of why that I will be talking about today in my live. Okay? So we're not down with the boycott. I'm going to put out a call to action. If you are Pan-African, if you are pro-Black, if you're not down with the division, if you know what it means to have strength in numbers, if you know what it really means when we say touch one and touch all, then on August 1st, instead of not spending your money with African businesses, spend your money with African businesses and post a video about it. Or not, you don't have to, but spend your money with African businesses. Spend your money with African American businesses. And show that we are together. Africans, go ahead, spend your money with African American businesses. Spend your money with African businesses. We are in this together. We are connected. And those who don't want to acknowledge the connection, it doesn't matter. Because whether they acknowledge the connection or not, it's still there. And every time these self-haters look in the mirror, they see the motherland. And they hate it. Oh, well, we're not boycotting.
And this is exactly why I made my follow-up video addressing Africans and Caribbean. I pointed out that African Americans deserve the right to preserve our culture. You are a Ghanaian man living in America with the Ghanaian flag and an American flag in your name as if you're proud to be in this country that hates you. And you're saying FBA means fathers be absent, poking fun at the removal of the Black man from the home in the African American community, poking fun of the people that look just like you. And then you wonder why some people feel like they need to separate. Are you proud of leaving your home country and coming to a white supremacist society that hates you? Because we're not proud of being forced to be here due to slavery. And I'm African American. I grew up with my father in the home. In fact, my parents are married and they're still raising children. The majority of my African American friends that I grew up with also had their fathers in the home. In fact, the majority of single mom statistics are not factoring in co-parenting. They're just saying that these families are not married. No, we might not always be married in the Black community, but African American men do make a way to take care of their kids. In fact, according to the CDC, Black men in America are more likely to be involved in their children's earliest developmental stages than any other race of men. And so while you say xenophobic things about African Americans, please make sure you're not speaking African American vernacular English. Please make sure you are not dressing like an African American. Please make sure you are not enjoying any soul food. Please make sure you're not listening to any rap music, R&B music, country, rock, gospel. And respectfully, please remember that the only reason that you as a Ghanaian can come to America is because African Americans fought for the Immigration Act. Have a nice day.
On the ABS and the Black Foundational Movement.
The ABS and the what movement?
Okay,
The
for the
ABOS
first one.
and the Foundational Black American Movement.
I'm not disidentifying from nobody. Last time I checked, our Jamaican African brothers and sisters were enslaved. Last time I checked, our Cuban African brothers and sisters were enslaved. Last time I checked, our American African brothers and sisters were enslaved. We were all enslaved together. We were all brought from Africa together. Why am I going to disidentify from my Jamaican brothers and sisters, my Cuban brothers and sisters, my Black British brothers and sisters, my African brothers and sisters, when we are all being victimized by the exact same oppressor? The Jamaicans were enslaved by the British. The African Americans were enslaved by the British, except for the last 90 years. So why are we separating when we were both enslaved by the same power? So let me get this right. There's only 3 million African immigrants in the United States. There's only 3 million African immigrants in the United States. We're going to start a fight with them, but there's about 50 million Mexican immigrants in this country. Twice that number of homosexuals. 5 times that number of feminists. But instead of fighting with them, we're going to pick on the lowest group on the totem pole, our own kith and kin, African brothers and sisters. A house divided cannot stand. It's Pan-Africanism or perish. I respect the ADOS movement, but I cannot support it.
Okay, let's go to the next caller. We got a caller that's calling in from Los Angeles.
Yes, there are African immigrants who come to America who coon. But there's African Americans who coon. There's African Caribbeans who coon. There's African Canadians who coon. There's Africans in Africa who coon. There's Africans in England who coon. Coonism is not the exclusive prerogative of any one subsection of the race. We have post-traumatic slavery disease and post-traumatic colonization disorder amongst us all. And nobody within this race of ours, nobody within this great God-given African race has a right to decide who can and who cannot struggle with us. We are one people, and anyone who tries to divide us as a race will be kicked out and pushed to the side. In fact, guess what? We have our own ADOS. We have our own ADOS. We have our own ADOS, and it stands for Africans of the Diaspora Organized for Success. ADOS that.
Okay, we're going to go back to the phone line. We got...
Guess what? I see a lot of y'all, bashing on me because I had something to say about, the unity of black people, Basically was talking about black people coming together, and most of y'all came on my page and had something to say bashing and all of that, which is pretty much good, which was expected, right? But check this out. And most of y'all think that when you bashing at me, it's supposed to make me feel bad. No, it don't make me feel bad. It actually make me smarter, because I just give you the time to bash me and say all you gotta say. Then when you done with what you gotta say, then I put your words together. From those words that you said when you thought you was bashing me, those words that you said, I'm gonna put those words together. From those words, I can figure out exactly how you see me, how you perceive me, what kind of person you think I am. Your level of respect for me, your level of love for me. Then when I see that, from there, I know what to do next. So when I put that together, I know where to place you. Trust me, when I put that together, I will know exactly where to place you. I will know if I need to play for you that 180-degree song, I'll put you to a dance of 360 degrees for the rest of your life. then you will understand why this man is from our cable line, Africa, Uhuru.
Happen to be on Twitter. Shout out to this brother, American Freedmen Legal Fund. Now, so this lady here, okay, the brother says, we have received all her work information. We are moving forward. We now have full documentation of her employment and professional affiliations. Because of her actions, freedmen patients are being placed at risk. This is not only unethical, it is a direct threat to our community's health and safety. Let this be clear. If you choose to attack freedmen while serving in institutions that operate within the United States, understand that you are accountable under the very systems you work for. Do not call for war while collecting paychecks under the protections of this country. Facts. You cannot work in public service and harm the public. We are moving forward with a formal complaint. Every policy, every license, every oath, we will hold you to it. This is very intelligent. Like the lady said, if they really want to get rid of you and those of you who participate in this boycott, this is not Africa. In Africa, you could just refuse to serve business to somebody because, you know, ain't nobody gonna say nothing. But in America, if you do that, they can just sue you and you can lose the business. Like, you don't even, like, this person is in America trying to operate under, you know, the local African rules or whatever. And that works in Liberia, it works in Uganda, you know, it's still wrong, but you can't do that in America. You don't even know the system. And then you're talking and you work for somebody. So what did the people say? Outstanding. She's talking about war. We'll need to send her right back to that war-torn country she fled from, which was Liberia. Again, I don't think the country of Liberia deserves bad press because of this lady, but yeah, she's from Liberia and we already know what happened in Liberia. These are dangerous. These people are dangerous and they are all over in the medical field. Our black lives are in danger. Look at this. Miss Stacy, she needs to be fired and deported. Revoke her license indefinitely. It's probably fake anyway. She should never be allowed to re-enter the United States, let alone practice or work here or even exist here again. All that mouth, COINTELPRO says. Nation of Hebrew Israelites. Yes, she needs to be detained by ICE government, charged, jailed, then sent back to Africa and never allowed back in the U.S. Yes, I can agree with this. We are standing up for ourselves against the disrespect and hate we receive. Whenever once have we called out for war, that's just crazy. She was also calling for every immigrant to go to war with us. She shouldn't be in healthcare, that's dangerous. Which she did, right? Let me go and look at what somebody posted. Let me help y'all out with her name. Her name is Kumba Blank. The contact information for her boss is Cheryl Blank. I bleeped out some of this stuff in the number. This lady works at a social, like the government office, in some level of health aides, all right? And you're talking like this. Let me just talk about this, right? Like, people don't understand where they live and they be feeling themselves. If you feel however you want to feel about Black Americans, anybody else, that's your business. The moment that you let that be known on social media, people won't have the right to come after you, and they will. All right, it's gonna happen. You're not gonna like it. You're gonna be.
Go like this,
Black Americans, you feel so entitled. Over what?
the next right.
Lazy ass motherfuckers.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Go get some job. You like to live on welfare. My tax money is taking care of you equally if you don't know that. Fool.
Keep it up.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
And for the Africans that say, why do foundational Black Americans have the smoke for Africans, but not for the white supremacists that's held us down for 400 years, or the Chinese people that take advantage of us with our nails and our hair products and stuff like that, or the Arabs that take advantage of us at the corner stores and the liquor stores. It hits harder because you claim to be Black. Yeah, it hits harder because, see, the way the foundational Black Americans is set up, we have a black code over here that you don't know nothing about. We have a whole black code over here and you don't follow the black code rules. I mean, I'm just being real. You don't follow the black code rules. So you come over here and you want to act like the oppressor and take advantage of us instead of helping us in our fight. We've been fighting for years. Then you come over here and don't aid in our fight. What you do is join the plight with the white man and the Arab and the Chinese. You fall in line with them, bruh. That's why we're mad.
Because we wasn't even mad at y'all. You know, we felt sorry for y'all. They showed us flies flying in y'all eyes and stuff. We was like, damn, that's our brothers and sisters over there like that. Damn. We felt sorry for y'all when y'all got over here. And y'all treat us like shit. That's why y'all first. Y'all canceled first. And then the Arabs. And then the Chinese. The white folk, we've been trying to cancel them, but them the motherfuckers that write the law. So we got to have a whole other discussion on that. We going to really have to just buckle down and say, fuck the system on that part. But yeah, the ones that we can handle with light work, we can handle with light work. Because y'all playing with a ninja. Man, we done suffered too many wars and went through too much. For our dignity and our pride and for our mouth so we can speak up. Yeah, you ain't gonna come over here and drift. Help! Bitch! You black? You wanna be black? Help, bitch! Fuck's y'all talking about? Sick of y'all.
Okay, y'all, so this is kind of bothering me. So I really don't understand what is so hard to comprehend about the fact that Black Americans are actually Americans. We're not immigrants. We're not from somewhere else. We're not from some unknown la la land. We are actually Americans. There was this like African lady. I don't even know. She must have been West African. I don't really know where she was from specifically, but we were having a conversation. I was just trying to explain to her about the Black American experience and a little bit about our history and telling her that, you know, we are actually Americans. And she kept going back and forth trying to rebuttal me and saying that, no, we're African and we're, you know, nobody's actually American. There's no such thing as really being an American unless you're Native American. And, you know, basically trying to say that I'm just a lost in the sauce, or we're all, as Black Americans, we're just a bunch of lost in the sauce people that don't know who we are, where we came from, and we're really just lost Africans. And then she goes on to say, you know, because of course I'm combating her like, no, we're American. Like, you know, I'm telling her the history. We've been here since the 1600s. Like, that's when the first slaves got over here. You know, we're a mixture of all different parts of the West African coast and Central Africa, and then we got blood from other ethnicities, and now we are what we are. And then she says, why do you want to be American so bad? As if I'm like a foreigner or an immigrant that's like fighting to have my American identity. I don't need to fight to have an American identity because I am an American. So it's like, what do you mean, why do I want to be an American so bad? Why do I want to be American so bad? What else am I supposed to be? What else would I claim to be other than what I am? I can't claim to be from where she is from West Africa. I can't claim to be from there. If somebody was to ask me, oh, what is your ethnicity? And if I entertain the idea that I'm not American, and I say, oh, I'm from Africa. Oh, really? What part of Africa are you from? Oh, I don't know. Because I'm not actually from Africa. You know, it's just that, you know, some of my ancestors were brought over here in 1619. So I just, you know, figured, you know, I guess I'm an African. Oh, well, tell me a little bit about your African culture. I don't have anything to tell you because I don't have any African culture to tell you about, because I don't have any African culture. I don't have any African tribe. I'm not a part or affiliated with any of that. Like, I just really don't understand what is so hard to grasp about that. Like, it's like you come over here and you don't learn anything about the people who built the country. You don't learn anything about the people who live here. You just make all these assumptions and project all of these ideas onto people that you don't technically really know anything about, and it's very obnoxious. Like, there was another lady, I don't even know what country she was from either, and I think she was from East Africa or somewhere. She kept trying to call me like a Bantu or saying that I'm a Bantu, and I'm not from Africa. I'm not Bantu. I am not any of those tribes. Okay, I'm not African. I am Black American. We are not from Africa. Yes, we have ancestral DNA of the West African people. But we're not African, guys. We are actually Americans, foundational Americans. We were a part of the building of this country that we now call the United States of America. I'm not saying that we're not trying to take anything away from the Native Americans, who will always have that place as this being their land, and this is their homeland, they're the originals. Nobody's trying to take that from them. But we are foundational to what is now the United States of America. It's like they just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Like, no, where are you really from? Where are your grandparents from? Where is this from? No, you couldn't just be from America. You got to be from somewhere else. No, I don't have to be from somewhere else. I don't. I'm American, a real American, not an immigrant. Okay, I don't have to be from somewhere else. Being a Black American, if you want to keep it all the way real, is a flex. Because even though our history is kind of really fucked up, we were a part of building a society that people all around the world want to be a part of. So don't try to take that away from us. And if you're a Black American, don't ever let nobody try to make you think that being a Black American is not a flex, because it absolutely is.
Black case study. New FBA talking point is West Indians and Africans say Black Americans are lazy. Is this true? For real? I didn't know that.
Black Americans are very lazy. White Americans are very lazy. That is what we heard before coming to America. These people are not lazy. Oh. They are very hardworking. If you don't work in America, you will be homeless. These people are very hardworking. They are very hardworking. If you don't work here, you will be homeless. In Africa, if you don't work, you can have a house. But these people out here, they are working day and night. They are working. They are not lazy. Don't listen to whatever you hear back in Africa. These people are very hardworking. They are not lazy at all.
When Africans come to America, they're busting their behinds to get degrees, become doctors, lawyers, and stuff like that. So when Africans look at African Americans, they're like, these people have credit cards. We don't even have credit cards. These people are not even working, and we come here and we busting our asses. Now we're doing this. We're now six figures, and these people have all these years to become all these great jobs and careers. Y'all have all this time to get free money, free loans, and we don't get that back at home. And guess what? We're right here, and y'all are still here. Not just Africans, everybody. All the other countries are considering y'all as being lazy, because it's like, why aren't y'all getting these? Why y'all not busting y'all asses to? Y'all should be better than the Chinese. On the African side, they see is more of a ratio that we're honestly doing well, and they just feel like you guys are just not doing much. I think that's the better way to put it.
But that's wrong. You get what I'm saying? You're justifying the wrong. Like, I don't get it.
African Americans, for some reason, want to be separated from Africans so much, even though they're African Americans. And now they're saying we're not African Americans, we're Black Americans. You were slaves. What?
Nothing like you. We look nothing like you. Y'all could never be us. Completely different. And it's funny because you are literally one of us, removed through slavery. That's it.
Before I share my thoughts, I want to make it clear that I'm not African American. One of my parents is from a Caribbean island and the other is from an African country. So I grew up as a Black person in America, but I'm not African American. However, I've seen many videos on my For You page, takes and arguments I've seen from a lot of African people, specifically like the videos I showed you in the beginning, are disingenuous and irritating. Like, I don't know if some of the members of the African community are choosing to be ignorant or choosing to have a very closed-off mentality, but a lot of you guys are full of crap. First things first, I don't understand why it's a problem if an African American wants to claim their African American ancestry. Why is it a problem if someone who's, for example, from Louisiana, a Black person from Louisiana, who their parents are from Louisiana, their grandparents, their great-grandparents are from Louisiana, why are you mad at them for not claiming Ghana? We all should know slavery by now. We all should know what happened. We all should know the fact that African Americans have had a history in this country for over 400 years. We all should know by now that Africans hundreds of years ago were brought to the West, America, the Caribbean, everything like that, and were stripped from their African identity. They were stripped and they had to create their own culture, which they have done. They have their own food, soul food. They have their own dances, their own music, their own fashion, their own cultural practices. African American is an ethnicity, and the reason why I say a lot of you Africans who have the take of why aren't African Americans claiming to be African? You guys are African, acknowledge that you guys are African. The reason I say a lot of y'all are full of crap and are disingenuous is because I never hear this criticism or this confusion over Caribbeans. I've never heard anyone say, why don't Jamaicans claim to be African? You guys are African, okay, acknowledge it. I never hear Haitians being questioned or people from Barbados being questioned. So why are only African Americans being pressured, and why are you guys only trying to push African Americans in the box of claiming to be African when they do not know their African ancestry? Like, I'm literally about to get heated, bro. If you simply look at biologically and genetically, the average African American has European ancestry in them. Due to slavery and due to what the slave masters did back in the day, they have European ancestry in them as well as African. So that's the first difference. And also, a lot of African Americans cannot trace back their ancestry that they had in Africa hundreds of years ago. To expect that from them is impossible. Why would they claim Ghana when they've never been to Ghana, they don't know their ancestors that came from Ghana, and all they know is their ancestors who grew up in America? It's okay for African American to be its own culture. You guys need to accept the fact that African American is its own culture, and African Americans are allowed to be in their own culture, just like how Jamaicans are, just like how Black Brazilians are. Like, why can't they be their own thing? What is wrong with that? I genuinely don't understand. And the crazy part about it is I grew up around Africans. I am half African myself. Well, half as in one of my parents is African. So I know the discourse that's happening or that have happened in the past towards African Americans by African people. A lot of the African community grew up hearing negative things about Africans and had a negative perception on them, or their parents had a negative perception, or whatever. So a lot of you Africans grew up hearing that African Americans are not like us, we're not like them, they're this, we're like this. So why are you guys surprised that they are separating themselves and they are wanting to claim their own ethnic group? Quickly, tell me. I don't know, I'll just never understand the obsession that some of you guys have over wanting to claim African Americans all of a sudden. Why are they not allowed to be happy and acknowledge their own ethnic group that their community has built for hundreds of years? It's obvious that every person who appears to be Black is phenotypically Black, or people who are mixed with Black. We all know that we have had an ancestor who was in Africa. We came from somebody who was living in Africa, west, east, north. We all know that we're originally from someone who was in Africa at some point. But we have developed our cultures over time, especially since the slave trade and especially since slaves were brought to the West. We've developed our own culture. And there is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the African American person acknowledging that they are their own culture. Period. But I don't want to hear anyone talking about, as a Black community, we need to stop being divided. We need to stop having these divisive conversations. I don't want to hear that, because not only is that a tone-deaf statement, but I fear we always will have differences in the Black community. There's never going to be a unified African nation, I fear. Even in Africa, we have different cultures and ethnic groups and tribes that beef with each other. So I don't understand why you think we're going to have this unified African nation. That's never going to happen. And obviously, I understand that there's some delusional people in the African American community who either don't think that their ancestors are from Africa, or think that they're foundational Black, their ancestors are from Native America, those kind of people. But I'm pretty sure the majority of African Americans know that at some point their ancestors came from Africa and just want people to acknowledge their own African American culture. Yes, I'm speaking to some of you guys in the African community. Let's be for real, okay? Let's put on our logical caps and let's stop invalidating people's experience and people's culture. Thank you.
Look, I'm about to not mind my business, but I don't care. I am so enjoying this beef. I don't know what happened. I don't know why y'all Americans went to do that to yourselves. But now the war between Africans and Americans right now, what is going on? Why did you guys go do that to yourselves? Why did you... Yo, these Africans are coming for y'all. Obviously, I'm not American. I'm Canadian, but y'all started something that I don't think you were ready for. And there was no purpose to start that. There was no purpose. Excuse me, I just ate. Your girl is digesting. I wish it was African food, no lie. Okay. But yo, the Africans are not holding back, and the comments to die for. Like, to die for. My best part is, funny enough, Americans are no longer African Americans? Like, y'all are no longer African Americans? What happened to the African in your American? What happened to that? I never understood the African American thing that Americans like to call themselves when they're literally Black American. But whatever, I'm not gonna get into it. Like I said, I'm not African. But you know what? I am enjoying this beef right there. Y'all went and poked the wrong bear. Y'all went and poked the wrong bear, and I'm here for all that. See, I'm here for all of it. Y'all, when you guys see a video, an African reply to an American, or stitching something not very smart that an American says, go in the comments. Go live your best life in the comments. You will not regret it. Y'all went to poke the wrong bear. Wap kon George. Wap kon George. Wap cherche problem. Wap kon George. Y'all should have just leave them people alone. Leave their food alone. Leave their braiders alone. Just leave them alone. Y'all enjoyed the cheap price for the braids, no? Now y'all want to... Americans, only you would do something like that. I'm here for all of it.
African Americans are one of the Black people we just unfortunately have to leave behind. They are too far gone and are exactly like their oppressors. You can't even educate them out of their ignorance. It's sad.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Black American culture, the one that you don't believe we have, has been stolen by everybody in the entire fucking world. From everything from country music to K-pop, which a lot of people are just now starting to find out, have used Black people and their representation and their skin tone to make a culture for themselves. Like, to say that Black people don't have a culture is not only insulting just to everything that we've built over the years, but it's just a straight just middle finger to our ancestors. Like, if that's how y'all feel, stop saying nigga like you from here then. Oh, but we were slaves too. You ain't from America. Y'all ancestry is over there. So use the word that they called you then, nigga. We gonna claim victimhood over a people that were enslaved and then put into prisons and further enslaved, and claim that they are sexualizing themselves and condoning violence. Where did these motherfuckers grow up at? Everything that you watch, everything that you look at, everything that you view as popular is dictated by the very people that you say have no culture.
Right.
African American or Black American? Hey, gather here and tag any African American out there. Gather here, come here. Now, I'm here on behalf of our brothers and sisters from the continent of Africa. I'm here to talk to you today. Now, we don't have a problem when you say you are Black American, you are not African American. We don't have a problem. In fact, it's okay because that's what you are. You are an American and you are born in America. Call yourself Black American. It's fine. Now, the problem is when you start having these issues with Africans. Hey, Chineke, oh, my brother, my sister. We don't have, Africans don't have time for war. If you are fighting this war, you are fighting it yourselves, not us. I have seen these videos, some Black Americans making videos saying it's bad luck to be associated with the name African. It's bad luck to call yourself African American because of all the shit that's happening in the continent of Africa. It is bad luck when you call yourself African because that's why a lot of bad things are happening to them because they are associated in the name Africa. That Africans are bad luck. That Africans, we come here to disrespect you guys. Me, Wajiko, coming from Kenya, how many miles? Do you know how many miles from Kenya? Coming all the way from Africa to come here and disrespect anybody. For what? We are not here for any sort of competition. We are not here for any sort of war. We have left our problems back home. We have tribal issues. We have our own issues. We have our own government issues. We have so many problems to deal with, leave alone coming to America to disrespect and to take over what Black Americans here have. Let me tell you guys, as Africans, when we come to America, we come here with a purpose. Majority of us, and I'm not saying, because some of us lose focus, of course, you know, human is human, but majority of Africans, when we come to America, we come here with a purpose. We come here with goals. We come here to better our lives. We come here to make our lives good, and we come here to work. We don't come here to take from anybody. We work hard. We put in the work. And the last thing we worry about is who is called who. Who is who? Who is... We don't care about that. All we want is a good life for ourselves, and all we want is to make our lives better, and all we want is to work harder. Okay? And these problems, it's a shame to see people who look like us trying to fight us. Why are you fighting Africa? You know, a lot of Black Americans, they say Africans don't like them. You know, what we don't like is problems. You know, this is the confusion. You know, a lot of Africans, we don't want problems. We don't. That's why we try to stay away. And some Black Americans, they think we don't like them. Just because we stay away from problems, it doesn't mean, because what happens as an African when we come to America, if you go to work, or if you meet some African Americans or Black Americans, let me say Black Americans, because I don't want to disrespect you guys. When we meet Black Americans, what do we get? Most of them, as soon as they hear the African accent, they treat us like we are stupid. We don't know what we're doing. We are dumb. We are from Africa. You know, they think we are so poor. We are here because of, I don't know what the mentality is, but there's that kind of treatment. And a lot of Black Americans, they are, and especially women, and I'll say this, especially women, they have this anger. They have this bitterness. They're ready. Even if you go to some customer service, Black American, the minute they look at you like that, you open your mouth, they'll be giving you, like, they'll look at you in a way, you know, and they'll make you feel like, my goodness, whatever you're asking, you just, and also at the same time, you meet good ones. They are good ones. They are good Black Americans, very nice ones. I go to a Black American church, and there are so many good ones, yeah? So I'm not trying to say all Black Americans are bad, but what I'm saying is, it's good you can say you're not African, but the thing is, do not start having problems and fighting with Africans. Africans, we are not here for that kind of fight. We appreciate being in America. We prayed to be here. We prayed for us to get American citizenship. We had to study. We had to read all those questions. And some of you don't even know all those things, the process we have to go through. We paid money, you know, because it's not free. To fill in all the paperwork is not free. We file for these forms, and it costs us money, but we pay, and we know that we have paid the price. And guys, African Americans or Black Americans, I want to assure you, when you come to the continent of Africa, you are more than welcome. Do not feel like Africans are here to threaten. No. And by the way, Africa is not that behind. My brother, you know, like the guy saying that with all the shit that is happening in Africa, let me tell you, there are so many Africans, Black Americans that are moving to the continent of Africa. There are so many. I have seen this lady, if you know, for reference, you can go to Instagram and find, or YouTube, find this lady called Trevor's Culture. This lady, she's helping a lot of Black Americans relocate to the continent of Africa. There are so many moving to Nigeria and Ghana and all this, and even some moving to Asia, and no one is having a problem with them. In Kenya, we say, Karibu, hakuna matata. You're welcome. No matata. In fact, as soon as you land in Kenya, nobody is going to tell you are from where. When you speak, we can tell you are an American. And in most cases, we wouldn't even know if you are an American from Kenya. Nobody cares. All we care is our brothers, our sisters welcome. That's all. So why the war? Why all this problem? African. And I see this video lady saying, we don't like African food. It tastes nasty. Have you tasted all African food? I've been, for me, being Kenyan, we have tribes. We have so many tribes in Kenya. I haven't tasted all the tribe foods, like, of course, most of the food are similar, but some tribes, they have certain food, and I haven't tasted all, like, I haven't been to the Maasai land to taste the Maasai food, things like that, although most of our foods are similar. But all I'm saying is, I've never been to some African countries, so I've never tried their food, so you don't know. And stop thinking Africa is that behind. Africa is not. You'll be surprised. You need to travel. You need to travel. My sister, my brother, you need to travel. Travel and see the world. See what is out there. Don't think that America is all, like, everything, America is good, don't get me wrong, but there are countries that are much better than America. There are countries that are greater than America. There are countries that are awesome. There are countries, stop down looking on other countries, like continent of Africa. If you have money, I can tell you, if you have money, or if you can survive, if you can work remotely and live in Africa, you'll be living like a king or a queen. That's what I can assure you. I'm not promising you jobs, because why are we here? Because we don't have jobs. But there are people who have jobs in Africa getting paid well. There are people from Africa who will not live in America. Because what is this? You need to travel. Before you think being associated with Africa is bad luck, travel and see the world. There are so many good things about Africa you don't know. And while this is what makes me mad. While some black Americans are complaining about Africa, white people are busy traveling to Africa, enjoying continent of Africa. They are enjoying. And you know what? I'm so happy to see that even black Americans nowadays are moving out of America. They know better. So know better. Stop fighting the online social media wars.
Some of you African Americans should be ashamed of yourself, and I'm here to tell you why. Hi, my name is Empress Mawina, and I am originally from Ghana, but I moved over here when I was a kid. Y'all want to claim that America belongs to y'all, but yet, ever since I went to the States, the money, I never seen a picture of a black man on it. But when you travel to Africa, or even Jamaica, or any black populated country, all the money have a black man on it. So how is America really your country again? Make it make sense. Y'all want to claim that y'all built America, but the real truth is, actually, the white tea people stole all the African stuff, brought it over to this country, and our ancestors who were black, like me and you, build America. You guys are jealous. And let me give you one reason why I think you guys are jealous of us. Y'all was saying that a Chinese has a market, Africans have a market, Indians have their own market, but when it comes to the African Americans, y'all do not have a market. Yeah, I think you're jealous. That's one. Wait, I think your real beef is honestly with white tea people and not us Africans, because on 1942 in Detroit, I remember you guys tried to build a black community, but then the white tea people shut it down. I think your real beef is with white tea people. FBA, you make being black so embarrassing, and I'll tell you why. A white man listening in to most of the stuff that comes out of your mouth, because at the end of the day, we are all black people, okay? Whether you like it or not. And the white people know that. So if the white people listen to some of the stuff that comes out of your mouth, no wonder why they think black people are stupid. Stop embarrassing us and stop making us look like idiots. Y'all want to claim India an indigenous world. Meanwhile,
India doesn't even want nothing to do with you. India is not claiming you. Another reason why I think y'all are jealous is because, God forbid, if something bad was to happen, us African people, we have somewhere to go. Y'all don't. Another reason why I think y'all are jealous of us is because us African people, when we come to this country, majority of us do really, really well in the country. While most of y'all just end up with 5 kids, multiple baby daddies, on welfare, and living in Section 8. I hate to do this to y'all, okay? But y'all already know what's going on in this world. Black and black crime is already a lot, so I do not understand what the FBA is doing at all. You guys are not helping the situation. There's so much hatred in your hearts. And I know our ancestors are very disappointed. They look down with disgrace, just like how y'all make me feel. I just feel so ashamed to be black because of y'all making a fool out of all of us. If y'all don't want to be African American, fine. Nobody is forcing y'all. And matter of fact, we do not care. And we are not getting out of the country because it is not your country. Another reason why I think y'all are jealous of us is because we have one of the most beautiful women. Okay? African women are gorgeous. Do you see their bodies? Gorgeous. I know the African Americans be striving to look like an African girl with that natural curves. That's why BBL became so popular in America, or should I say North America, because y'all want to look like us. One of them went ahead and asked me, so what's your blood type? I told a person I am O blood type. The person told me I was lying. And I asked them, why would you say I'm lying? They're like, oh, if you're O blood type, that means that one of your ancestors was American. What? That doesn't even make any sense. That simply just means that slavery really did happen, and one of my ancestors happened to have ended up in America because he was African. I wish all of this hatred would stop, because I know not only the ancestors are looking down, God is even looking down at all of us, and I know he's not proud. I'm pretty sure they're all ashamed just like I feel ashamed. And no, us African people, we are not going to bow down to you African Americans and kiss your asses. And you are not better than us. Some of you African Americans should be ashamed of yourself. And I'm here to tell you why. Hi.
So she went on in the video to say that we talking about America as if it's ours. Didn't watch the rest of the video. However, this is what I find ironic about these people, and this is why I say that the bottom line is very blatant. What I find ironic about these people is that the proof is in the pudding. It is still factually documented that we've been renamed. However, no one ever makes 2 + 2 = 4 about white Americans. It's a reason why they are the only ones seen as Americans, because they're the ones that strip themselves of their identity to become American. We're not the ones who are in confusion, love, and they are not the ones in confusion. They understand exactly and fully what has been done, and that is why what's going on now is confusion to you. It's not that we're acting like America is ours. They are responding as if they're responding to the owners. That's what got y'all in confusion. But I can save you the confusion right here, because y'all steady say, where are you really from, to black Americans, and y'all don't utter this to the Europeans, the Frenchmen. When they got here, they were Europeans and Frenchmen and Spaniards. That is what they were. These are the people. Nobody ever makes 2 + 2 = 4 on how a white American is just seen as American. They're the ones who had to erase themselves. In order for them to take on the American identity, they had to drop the European identity, the French identity. This is why, the same way we got genealogy that tests us back hundreds of years here, they have genealogy for themselves. They can go find their own family members. That is not something that they want to do, because for them, that is an identity that they let go long ago. So that should save y'all the confusion there. Y'all are wondering, why are they responding to us as if they're talking to the owners of this, and now I got all y'all in confusion. It's not the conversations. It's the act right about our conversations. You feel what I'm saying? It ain't that hard for y'all to figure out why the hell is they acting on everything these people saying. They said they gonna boycott us and they came and raided us. They said they was not defending no more. They wouldn't get on the front line no more. And they, the ICE done went up there, snatched all them illegal Spanish persons, and they just, y'all can't see what's going on? The people in a borrowed identity are responding to the people that they borrowed it from. It's the reason why we've been renamed umpteen thousand times, and they've only been renamed once. On those papers, the same papers that shows which Black Americans became prisoners of wars, and they got all the full list of so-called slaves and things like that. They have the true identity on there, whether they were European, French. So you wonder, why are we talking as if America is ours? You never wondered that about a European or French or Italian? The Italians are the only ones that still allow themselves to have a piece of the identity before they got here. The rest of them just want to erase. We're not the ones in confusion. Y'all is, you stinking heifer.
Black Americans, listen. Please stop referring to yourself as African American. That Pan-Africanism, that whole movement to unify Black Americans with Africans, listen, that's a hoax. They want a destiny swap with us. They want to take our culture and our dollars and take it back to Africa. You see what they did with the Essence Festival. If y'all keep feeding into this narrative that we are all the same, they are brothers and sisters, what's going to end up happening is when it comes time for reparation for what our ancestors went through, not theirs, the ones that they sold, not theirs, what's going to happen is they're going to send Black America's reparations over to Africa. And they are not our friends, they are not our allies, and I hope y'all can realize this and wake up.
Not African. We are not African, nor are we African American. That name Africa was given to those people on that continent for us to believe over here that those are the only people that we have. What about the black people in Australia? How did they get in Australia? What about the black people in New Guinea, in New Zealand? How did they get over there? What about the black people in China, the black people in Russia, the black people in South America, North America? How did they get there? We are original people of the planet Earth. The whole planet was black at one time. All right? That's what it is. We are not African. We are original people of the planet Earth. We are not African. Get that out of your head.
Okay, family, you need to buckle up for this one. This Nigerian man by the name of Tonye Anyanwu, he seems to think that African Americans are dumb and are not owed anything, but think they are and think the whole world is against them. Just watch it and we'll talk further.
Black people piss me off, especially African Americans. Now, you see, there's a sense of over entitlement and expectations that the world owes something to these people, right? And I say these people because it's now more of a mindset thing than an actual skin color, right? African Americans have convinced themselves, and I find that to be so narcissistic, that the whole world is against them. How narcissistic can you be to think that every living person is living their life to bring your dumb? How? People don't give a about the skin color you have on your body. That's the reality of the world today, especially today where we don't have black and white bathrooms anymore. We don't have black and white trains anymore. Slavery happened everywhere in the world with every nationality, every color, every gender, every race.
There are so many words I want to say that I cannot say on this platform, but what I will say is I don't know what this man is smoking, but he is not living in the same world that we are all living in as Black people. The sky must be pink in his world. He is of another planet, perhaps, but something is fundamentally wrong with his mind if he thinks that, one, African Americans are narcissistic and think that the whole world is against them. Just turn on the news and the world is against us, but it's a specific race or races of people that are against us. And that is a proven fact. Time in, time out, day in, day out, year in, year out. We have just started 2025, and there isn't a shortage of stories against our people, including African Americans, and by the way, including your people, sir. So I am mystified that this man is saying this, also saying that there is no more black and white washrooms and there's no black and white trains. And, you know, what? Just because there's not a that, it doesn't mean that racism doesn't still exist. Okay? He said people don't give a crap about your skin color. Oh, they don't? You got to be kidding me, right? People don't give a crap about our skin color? Like, is this man is not okay. There's no way this person is okay. I firmly believe this is some sort of joke, especially when he says African Americans think that something's owed to them. We sure do. It's called reparations. Same goes for Canada. It's called reparations. Same goes for Ghana or all the other countries in Africa. Reparations is owed to us. What are you smoking, dude? You need help. You need serious help. I suggest you go and get your head checked. I think that he must be involved with one of the folks and, you know, he's completely delusional. But I will say this, sir. It may not be today. It may not be next week. It may not even be next year. But at some point, you are going to be reminded exactly what color you are that you don't think people give a crap about. And maybe he won't even notice it because he is so far out of touch with reality. Even if it slapped him in the face, he wouldn't even know it happened. And I'm going to leave it there because, again, there's so much I want to say, a few two or three words that I would love to use to just really wrap this up that I can't use on this platform. So I will just say to you all, let me know what you think about what this man has to say. Drop your comments in the chat. And don't forget to download the African Diaspora News app. You can grab it at the Google or Apple store. Also subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Black Experience with Emma Ansa. Until next time, please be safe, everyone.
A young lady from Sudan told me that I am not American to my face. She did wrong. She don't know what she's talking about. But anyway, we gonna go ahead and let her know. And I hope she see this, that maybe I ain't trying to be rude, but you know, I didn't have the education at the time to go ahead and read you for filth. Baby, can you tell me who the fuck Christopher Columbus is? A lot of y'all think that Christopher Columbus helped colonize America. He did not. He thought he discovered a portion of Asia, and he did not. He went back and he reported back to Europe that he had found another side of Asia. No. That was in, 1492. Very long time ago. Well, it was another man named Amerigo Vespucci that came in after him. And he realized that Christopher Columbus made a mistake. He, in fact, found a place that's like the New World, undiscovered land. Amerigo Vespucci did not name this land after himself, but a guy that made maps called Watermere made the Watermere map in 1507 that was used during the transatlantic slave trade so they can navigate the seas and everything and start, the colonization of the New World. He decided to adopt Amerigo Vespucci's name, but feminize it and make it into America. Therefore, what we have today, America, that's why we call it America, which make me American, baby. But anyway, we're going to keep it pushing. The transatlantic slave trade started around the 1500s and ended in 1860, but you have to follow it. You got to use that thing. It's called a brain. But anyway, y'all think it's just white people, but it was really like the Spanish and the Portuguese, you get what I'm saying? That really, they kicked off the transatlantic slave trade. Now, I want to go into detail about, you guys think the slave trade was just on some barbaric ass shit in the beginning, but it was not barbaric. you got to think. You got to take yourself back to the 1400s. The 1500s, where slavery was a common thing. If you did not have money, you had to work for somebody. But your children was not born into slavery. You just had to work off your debt, or you was going to go to jail. One of the two. A lot of poor people were slavery. But let me tell you something. Some of the people that decided to develop and colonize America, they were against slavery. And that's the thing that saved our ass as Africans. There were some people that went with that shit and was like, bitch, this is supposed to be the free world, the new world. Let them motherfucking people go. We ain't fucking with it. All right, keep that in mind. But let's go back to the transatlantic slave trade. Who did they target for the slave trade that they wanted to have as slaves? Africans. That alone, that statement alone should let you know I'm African American. But anyway, if you don't get that, we gonna walk and talk a little bit. Now, let's name a couple of places in Africa. And let's start with this whole situation with the Zulu thing. Those aren't the real Zulus. Those aren't the real Zulus. No, those are just evolved Africans. And they're doing their rendition, their idea, or what's been, passed down to them as of what Zulu is. But you guys won't take the time to fucking do your research before you get on this platform and just scream, some bullshit. But it's safer to scream on here than say that shit to somebody and get your ass whooped. But anyway, we're going to keep it real cute, real classy. All right, so let's name a couple of places. If I miss some, you can throw it in the comment section. Make sure you like this if you are following along with me, if you can use the right and the left side of your brain. All right, so let's say Nigeria, South America, Kenya, Zimbabwe. And let's throw a little Zulu tribe-ish up in there. Those people were sent over to America between the 1500s and the 1860s. Take it in, because I want to get mad, but I don't want to get mad. Oh my God. They targeted Africa, baby. They took up to 70% of Africans away from Africa. That's over half of your population gone. Half of your population you want to turn a blind eye to and say they weren't Africans. They took up to 70%. 15 million people. Are you going to really turn your face away from 15 motherfucking Africans? Bitches, you crazy. But anyway, we're going to keep on talking. Walk with me, walk with me. 1500s to the 1860s. 1500s to the 1860s. Keep that in mind. Now let's talk about a little bit about citizenship. All right, slow down with me. Citizenship in America was legal in 1790, but only for white people. Only for white people. So only white people in the 1790s had citizenship. Again, 1500s to the 1860s. Transatlantic slavery was happening. Ships are still coming in. They're colonizing, they're developing the land. It's a rough history, but it's a history that has a beautiful ending and still evolving to this day. All right. 1500s to the 1860s, but 1790, white people were granted citizenship. All right. Let's go to 1807. Again, the transatlantic slave trade ended in 1860. It is 1807. Congress prohibited the importation of slaves. It wasn't legal, but it was still going on. It's still important, but it's legal. It ain't legal, baby. But somebody is fucking with us. Remember, y'all got somebody fucking with us. I don't like people one bad. Somebody was like, bitch, this ain't right. But let's slow it down. Let's think about it. In 1849, Harriet Tubman was going back and forth from Philly to Maryland, freeing her people. Again, the slave trade is 1500s to the 1860s. 1849, Harriet Tubman is doing her motherfucking thing. But let's slow it the fuck back down to 1868. The 14th Amendment expanded citizenship by granting birthright citizens to those birthed regardless of race. 1868, the slave trade, the transatlantic slave trade has ended by then, coming to a conclusion. All right, so no more motherfucking slaves. No more. It ain't no more. That's not the end of slavery, but we're not legally taking people from Africa and bringing them here. First of all, they ain't even really need to do that shit. By then, by the end of this, 1860s, around this time when it started coming to a fucking conclusion, we talking about 15 million African Americans. 15 million. Ooh, that's a lot of motherfuckers. Africans. Remember that, okay? But for some reason we ain't African. But anyway, y'all just want to forget this shit. Now let's take it to 1882. They're still very motherfucking racist. But you know, they're racist for a motherfucking reason. They just don't want motherfuckers in their goddamn country. So this girl from Sudan, she was not able to come to America in 1882 at all, motherfucker. You wasn't able to. Let's put me back there. My black ass is already in motherfucking Africa. Let me scratch that. Already in America. I was taken from Africa. Already in America. And I am here and I cannot be kicked out. I can't do nothing. No, I don't have citizenship, but I'm good. But she cannot come in and be a citizen. If she came over here, around that time, she was going to be put into slavery. But her family, however, that 30% that was left, they were still over there. But anyway, in 1882, Chinese exclusion is the first U.S. law to ban immigration based on race and nationality. So therefore, in 1882, they were saying, baby, if you ain't white, or if you're anything other than what we want you to be here, you ain't coming here to get no damn citizenship. Therefore, this girl that's talking about I'm not a citizen, girl, you're crazy. Now, let's keep it flowing. In 1892, the U.S. Supreme Court says any child born regardless of race or parent status is an American citizen. Now, that was giving us, like, African Americans a chance to be citizens. And that's how I became a African American. But I have a woman from Sudan saying that I am not African American. Now, let me tell you the beautiful thing about this discussion back and forth. Bitch, I ain't mad at you. But I do understand in this world history thing that is continuing to evolve, that we do have to evolve. Now, this FBA thing, I think it's like foundational African American or a foundational Black American or whatever the fuck they trying to say. So it has to be a distinguish of two. It's hard for me to give up my African American name, but if I have to distinguish between a woman that is settling here, coming over here without that transatlantic slavery history like I have, then okay, I guess I am FBA. I guess, bitch. But honestly, baby, that last name America, that first name Africa, that's me all day. And it's up to me to acknowledge that you were African American. Really, we should be naming you something different. Maybe you are the alien African American. We don't know what you are. But I am American, though, and African. Mwah.
We did not all come from Africa. We all came from melanated people who were Africans, Europeans, Australians, Asians. Science states that at one point there was Pangea, right? And all of the countries that were named by white people and given their titles by white people, but that's another story for a different video, were at one point one landmass, right? That doesn't mean that Africa was the only geographical space. It just means that all of the landmasses were one landmass, but Africa was still there. Europe was still there. North America, South America were still there. Asia was still there. Australia was still there. Antarctica was still there. You see what I'm getting at? These landmasses still existed. Recognize that this may be a hard concept for people to grasp because we have been brainwashed for so long and because our history is not told by the people that look like us, but melanated people were everywhere, on every continent. Meaning it is incorrect to say that everybody descended from Africa. That's not true.
So let's talk. Black Americans, let's talk. Black Americans, what are you guys so mad about? What are you guys so mad about? It has to be something deep. There's something deeper. What are you guys so mad about? It has to be something deep. And please don't give me that, oh, you guys, Africans are disrespectful. Don't give me that. Don't give me that, oh, Africans are calling us lazy. I don't want to hear that. Oh, Africans are saying, what's the other one? Africans are saying we don't have a culture. Really?
Is that why you guys are so mad? Is that why you guys are so mad? It has to be something deep, man. It has to be something deep. But let's break it down, though. Let's go to disrespect. When it comes to disrespecting Africans, right? Black Americans, you are number one on the chart when it comes to disrespecting Africans in the United States. You guys are number one on the chart. You know how many names you guys have been calling Africans? I've been called Kunta Kinte by Black Americans. I've been called Toby by Black Americans. Black Americans have said, "Oh, in Africa we don't have cars, we don't have houses." Yes. Oh, we chase lions. We kill lions with our bare hands. You guys say all these things to us. And guess what? What we do about it? We just shrug it off. We just laugh it off. Africans just laugh it off. We just shrug it off. And you guys are crying because we say you guys are lazy. Or you guys don't have a culture. You guys are crying about that. Let's go to laziness. Africans are not the only ones saying Black Americans are lazy. We are not the only ones saying that. Newsflash. Everybody else is saying it. We are not the only ones saying that you guys are lazy. No, we are not the only ones saying that. Everybody else is saying it. But why you want to turn us to? Why you want to turn the energy to Africans? Because you feel like you can bully us, right? Well, you can't. Let me tell you something. You can't bully Africans. I tell you that. You real Africans, you can't bully Africans. Nobody can bully Africans. Have you ever heard Africans getting bullied? No. Africans don't get bullied. You call us all these names, and we just shrug it off. And now we tell you some, and now you guys are crying about, oh, you guys say we are lazy, we don't have a culture. So what? So what? If you know that all those things are not true, why are you crying about it? Why are you being so hateful? It is crazy. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. The energy is just crazy. You guys are saying, oh, Africans are here to have a better life. Are we the only one here to have a better life? The Europeans are here to have a better life. The Hispanic are here to have a better life. The Asians are here to have a better life. The Indians are here to have a better life. So why are you turning all this negative energy to Africans? We are the least of your problems. Yes. So when it comes to disrespect, you guys are at the top of the chart. The white men don't call us that because if they do, we will say, oh, they are being racist. So they don't say the things that you guys are saying. And now you guys want to cry about it. Oh, cry me a river. Let me tell you something. If you think that you can bully Africans, you must be mistaken. We are the number one people you can't bully. And we are willing to go as long as you guys take this. Wherever you guys want to take this, we are willing to go there. Oh yes. Africans are stubborn fly. We are stubborn, very stubborn. So wherever you guys want to take this, let's go. We're ready. We're ready. Stop crying. Stop the crying. It has to be something else. It's either you guys are jealous about us. Jealous. It has to be jealousy. That's all I'm thinking. That's what you guys to be, jealousy. It has to be jealousy. We come here, we made it. We come here every time. All Africans, most Africans that come here, they're making it. They made it out. Better education. Jobs. They're busting their tails out. And you guys are jealous about it. Stop the crying, man. Stop the crying. It's fine. It's cool. You don't want to be us. That's fine. We don't care. Let me tell you something else you don't know. We don't give a damn who was here first. We don't give a damn who was in this country first. It could be black. It could be white. It could be pink. It could be blue. We don't care when we come here. We don't care about. We don't look about that.
Some of y'all African Americans are so damn stupid, you know that? I'm here to tell you why. Why are y'all saying that y'all started hair braiding and that us African people, we are copying you? It started from Africa years, thousands and thousands of years ago. Matter of fact, it was the Namibia people that actually started hair braiding, and then it just continued as a continent. So why y'all saying that, you know, hair braiding, y'all started it? That's a damn lie. Who copying who? Think about it. Who copying who? Why in the hell would Beyonce go ahead and, you know, ask for some African people to come all the way, fly them all the way to America? Yeah, she did that, okay? Just so that they could teach her a certain dance. And only the African people could do it. And nobody else was able to do that dance but the Africans. And she wanted to learn. So who copying who? Who copying who? Oh, so y'all can go ahead and steal our stuff. But then when we start to do things that we are the originals at, y'all start saying that we're copying y'all. America is the biggest propaganda country that I know. The only reason why we even know about y'all is because in Africa, they kept showing us, like they kept showing y'all to us on MTV. That's how we came to know about y'all. So that's how y'all culture became popular. So stop talking like, oh, we have the most popular culture in the whole world. No, you lying. Why are you lying? We didn't even know who the hell y'all were. We didn't even know y'all until the white man started to push it on us, Africans. Okay? When an African family gives birth to a child here in the States, the child automatically starts to sound like an American. Just like in the UK, when an African family gives birth to a child in the UK, they talk with the UK accent. So some of y'all coming for me talking about, oh, y'all even try to talk like us. MF, listen, fool. I moved over here when I was a baby. So how else do you expect me to talk like if this is all I've ever known? Y'all forgetting that when you live in an environment, you become the product of your environment. You see those African Americans that went to Ghana to live there now? Okay, now let them have a baby. How you think the child gonna sound like? The child gonna sound like a Ghanaian. They not gonna sound American. Take a look at the movie Black Panther. I know many of y'all seen that movie already, okay? So why were y'all trying to sound African in the movie, in Black Panther? Why were y'all trying to sound African? So who copying who? And why were y'all, you know, the whole Black Panther movie was just an African culture? Why were y'all stealing our culture? So y'all can go ahead and take stuff from us and do what you do, but then when we are the original creators of everything, because we are trendsetters, okay? We are trendsetters. Yes, we are, okay? So when we go ahead and we being ourselves, then y'all want to flip the script and be like, we're trying to be like y'all, but meanwhile, it's y'all that is looking up to us. And you know what? It's not even your fault that y'all are like us. You know why? Because you are like us. You're African. You're African. Like, what's wrong with you? So it is imprinted in your DNA to behave the way y'all are behaving. If y'all really the shit, then why are y'all unaliving one another in America down to y'all rappers and everything? Oh, and rapping comes from Africa, okay? Just like I said, we had our own thing going on before we even knew about y'all. And then you know what the white man does to y'all? When it comes to us African people, they brainwash y'all brains and made y'all see the bad side of Africa. Like them kids that are starving and everything. So y'all think that's what Africa is, but no. Put the cornbread down, okay? And go get some goddamn education, all right?
African Americans are telling me in my comments, because I'm not from here, I don't have the right to speak about them. I've heard too many times that African Americans believe that we Africans look down upon them when we come to this country, and we think we're better than them. It's false. When we were young in Africa, we worshipped African Americans. Yes. We changed our names to African Americans. My friends in school were called Jim Brown, Black Moses. I was called Superfly.
Okay.
Yes.
Go King.
Blacks in Africa, the barbershop, we go to barbershop until blacks started wearing afro, and we stopped and we started wearing afro. We blacks hated our own fabric, the dashiki, until African Americans made it popular in the 70s, and we all started wearing it back. As a case, I had his albums. We've watched all the movies. Kool-Aid High, TNT Jackson, A Hell Up in Harlem, Detroit 9000, Truck Turner, you name it. And then we go home and we're trying to practice how they speak and all that. That was when we were in Africa. Ask any African who went through the 60s and 70s. They'll tell you, oh, we love them. Maya Angelou moved to Ghana, and she was like a sister. 14 years she lived in Ghana. Her son had an accident and broke his leg and arm in Ghana. African Americans are telling me in my comments, because I'm not from here, I don't have the right to speak about them. Do you know W.E.B. Du Bois? Do you know where he died? He died in Ghana, was buried in Ghana, and Nkrumah built a center for Pan-African studies. He came to Africa, the first black PhD holder from Harvard, W.E.B. He came to Ghana, Africa, to tell us that our best way is to be Pan-Africanist. We listened to him. We didn't tell him, who are you to come from the United States and tell us what to do? There's a guy called Kwame Ture. He was formerly called Stokely Carmichael. He's the one who came up with Black Power, Black Power. Do you know where he is right now? In Guinea, in Africa, with pistols on his hip. When you go into my comments, African Americans are saying, I don't know anything about them. Hear me. Know you, the African Americans, more than you know yourself. Why? Because I am coming from the place where they brought you from. So when I got here and I looked at you, I see too much of us in you, and that's why we stay away from you.
This is why Black Americans have problems with African immigrants. Listen to what this African woman said in this video. I'll come back.
African sisters were better than, yeah, I think I'm African, I'm better than African American. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't have any African American friend. I don't need to be friends with any African American. There's nothing friendship with them that I find interesting. Through in university, I don't have any ounce of interest in developing any type of relationship with any of my African American sisters. Sounds like you went through some really traumatic experience. I don't have any interest, zero. If I see you coming down the road like this, I turn around and go the other way. I don't have any interest whatsoever to have a relationship with you. I hate them. I hate them. End of story. There's no resolution. I hate them, period.
Do you see our problems as Africans? How you gonna say you hate the people who made it possible for your existence in America? A lot of people might want to say I sound stupid with what I'm saying, but let's face reality. If it wasn't for Black Americans who have been fighting and paying price, sacrificing their life, putting their life in the line up from the 30s up until the early 90s, all of us, we immigrants that come to America, we have no place. They fought all through, from slavery to racism to prejudice, fighting the justice system, fighting discrimination, fighting for equality, fighting for equal opportunity, fighting to have equal education, have equal rights, have equal social amenities in America. You don't know their struggle. What makes you think you're better than them? Because you come here, you take student loan, take Pell Grants, take student aid, go to school, become engineers, become medical doctors, become nurses, become lawyers, and you think you're better than them? No, it was Black Americans that actually fought for all this, because being black that you are, you wouldn't have had that opportunity to enjoy that. We really have to respect Black Americans because they are the reasons why our existence is relevant in America.
Weak, we lazy, we don't fuck with them. Go
the
to
fact that you didn't want to do the DNA test, the fact that you didn't want to do this is showing how ignorant you are. That's what we see
ignorant.
Pause. I gotta pause this right quick because I remember reacting to this video a while ago. This African girl, I want to say she was from Nigeria. She was sitting on the couch with another girl, and she's one of the ones y'all seen that gone viral who say that Black Americans have no culture. Mind you, she looks like us, talk like us, act like us, walk like us, hair like us, makeup like us, nail like us, everything. This is what they do. Now, this is the gag. They want to tie you to this DNA testing so badly because it connects you to Africa. And if it connects you to Africa, that makes them the big dog and you the little dog. Because remember, they would be continental African. They would be tied directly back to the continent. This is why whenever you speak to an African and you talk about how you don't need to know no African DNA, or basically I'm from here and I have my lineage here, they feel disrespected. They feel slighted. They feel like, how dare you? Because if you take Africa off the table to them, you literally disconnect the big dog status from them. Because remember, they looking at you like you the lost Akata from somewhere in Africa, because they got the same education you got. But I know what part of Africa I'm from. Now, I may not have been. This is how they be. I may not have been, but I know what part of Africa that my family comes from. Okay? So they look at you as the lost sheep, the lost Akata. They love the Black Americans who flaunt their DNA test that say they 75% Nigerian, 30% 20% Sinhalese, and 5% this, and 6.2% this, and 0.5% Indian. They love that because that makes them the big dog. Status-wise, that makes you inferior to the African. In their minds, at least. But when you disconnect Africa from the entire conversation, now we're standing on two even playing fields. And the problem is the American playing field goes up, but the African one continues to sink. And that is a major, major, major problem to these people who have an issue with Black Americans who will not connect themselves to Africa. It's about status. That's what this whole thing about. It's never been about color. It's always been about status. Status-wise, if you say you're African and you don't know where you're from, that puts them at a higher status than you. But the moment you take Africa out the picture, it disarms them. They left with their hands in the air like hands up, don't shoot, because they have no defense, nothing for you.
Hey, Black people, y'all didn't build America, and you're entitled to no reparations. Picking cotton for a couple hundred years does not mean you built the nation. Do you know what percentage of white people back in the slave trade actually had slaves? You know what percentage? In 1860, 1.4% of the white population in the United States of America actually owned slaves. It was such a small figure of people, and yes, there was a higher concentration in the South, yeah, but at the same time, when you total up the people in the nation, it comes out to 1.4%. So Black people did not build America. White settlers did. White pilgrims built America. Okay, so this whole reparation garbage where Black folks just worship their identity, they treat their skin color like an idol, they think that they can be racist just because of their melanin levels. I'm so tired of it. Black people, just shut up, man. And it's not even Black folks. It's not Black folks. It's niggas. We all know who it is. There's Black people and there's niggas, and they are not the same species. But I'm so tired of niggas muddying the waters and ruining the reputation of just normal Black people minding their business, trying to just live the American dream. You don't get any points for crying all the time. Black folks don't get no special treatment because you want to act like slavery was the most horrific thing in human history. Everybody was a slave at some point. Every ethnic group was enslaved throughout history. That's just the way it was. You're not special. You don't deserve anything. Just be quiet. Black folks have our own problems. Always have issues shooting people, robbing people. It's like there's just a cancer in our society. It's just a sickness. It's a sickness that we have yet to overcome yet. So just stop worshiping your ethnicity. Just be normal, man. Be a regular American. Just move on with life. Stop playing the victim. Stop acting like you're owed shit. Drop your ego. Everybody has to go work hard. And there's things in place to benefit Black folks and nobody else. Everybody want to get mad at the white man and just ignores the fact that Black folks sold you to the white man. Be mad at them. Be mad at Africa. Africa hates you. Even in big 2025, African people hate black Americans. They just do. They don't like us at all. And they also sold us into slavery and are the reason why we're here in the first place. So if you want to be mad at somebody, be mad at them. But I'd much rather be here than in one of them African PvP servers.